Howdy folks, we're going to be doing some wheel bearing work on the Rabbit project. Now remember, this is an 81. This actually doesn't have that big hub bearing. This has actual traditional tapered roller bearings. These have been in use pretty much since the dawn of the car. You know, tapered roller bearings, because they can take a lot of load, both static and dynamic. So, plus we're going to replace the seal. The funny thing is that, yeah, I've got the impact, I got all the impact sockets out, including the 3/4 drive, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We're only going to be using the impactors to take the wheel off. Now, you can't see it right now, but I actually do have a jack stand on the other side of the wheel. So don't be completely griping at me that, you know, I've only got the jack holding it. Alright, we got the wheel off. We're going to let that roll away a little bit. Now, this. I need to set the brakes up again too. And I can kind of feel, yeah, these bearings are okay. They probably could just do with a greasing, but I've already done the other side and I really want to put new bearings on this side. And they got a little bit of noise. So come on. Come on, paint. There we go. And woo! Yep. Now, this is one job where I actually would recommend you wear gloves, because of just the sheer amount of grease that you're going to be working with. I mean, you're going to be covered head to frickin' toe in this stuff by the time that you get through doing the work. You're going to be covered head to toe in it. Take a pair of pliers, bend the clip over, and pull it out. Oh, bend it over. Wee bit more, and pull it straight out. Yep, right there. Now, you can change, you could just change these out. I think I might just reuse mine. We'll see later in the video how I feel, because I know for darn sure that I'm going to have to pause the video at some point and clean out all this grease. So, let's get you to that point at least, folks. Take the collar off. Now, realistically, if this was set right, it should need very little in the way of finesse to get it to come off. Alright, there we go. Now, you gotta have that little freaking collar, or else it will have this nut backing off on you while it's on the road. So make sure to put that collar back on and put the cotter pin in. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Oh boy. Yeah, the bearing. Yeah, it's got some play to it. So, you know what? We got the bearings, we're gonna replace them. So, besides, that's what you folks came here for, was to watch replacing the wheel bearings on one of these babies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is already kind of eaten into the washer a little, so alrighty. And there we go. We got it out. Now, behind this lip seal is the other bearing. And yeah, that one's not doing much better. So, I'm glad we did. And oh boy, we ain't got no pad left. We'll do that in the next video. Okay? Now, what you gotta do is you gotta frickin' clean your stub shaft. Okay, folks? You really gotta do that, or else you're gonna have contaminated grease. Okay? So alrighty. So, where's the cotter pin? Here, folks. We're gonna clean out all these holes. Now, to get that lip seal out, you could either use a lip seal puller, because realistically you're not going to want to reuse this lip seal. You're just not. Get a big old screwdriver. Or try and pry it out with a pair of pliers. Okay. And yeah, this one is really stuck in there. Yeah. See, this is the joys of automotive work. You know, I ain't buttering this crap up for you. You know, you are gonna get, you know, the trials and tribulations of working on a car. Well, I'm gonna go get a screwdriver, but you gotta really watch where the heck your brake pads are, you know, your brake shoes are, when you are putting this back together, because realistically I didn't realize that these shoes were completely gone. So just think about that when you're actually doing this job that, you know, maybe it's time to replace the rear pads at least, so that, you know, you get good stopping power. And for those of you that have manuals, you know, this is your parking brake. These freaking shoes are your parking brake. So keep that in mind. And for those of you that need a course on it, you know what, we're gonna lube this up so that when I come back to it, so when I have a chance to come back to it, it's ready for us to do. So let me go get that screwdriver. Remember the last side, I actually ended up taking a cold chisel to, but left that in the house. Yeah, this one might actually need a cold chisel, folks. Yep. So you can see, right? Okay, come on. Yeah, you can see it, folks. I got a little bit of a crack line here. Let's go. Oh yeah. Somebody did not want this seal leaking at all. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Little spring for the lip seal. And there's the bearing. That ain't doing much better. So, you're going to need a lot of paper towels, and you're going to need to come in here and grab all this grease and get it the heck out. Brake parts cleaner is, in my mind, kind of a mandatory on this job. So, but I'm not gonna make you watch me clean this entire thing. So I'm gonna shut the camera off, and I'll be back when I'm ready to pound out the races. Okay, we're back. Now, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but inside here, there's actual cutouts behind the race. Those are meant to be there because those are where you put the tool, whatever your whacking tool may be, to push the race out. Now, my tool of choice as of right now is a brass rod, because even though the bearings are bad, I don't need the races cracking. And there's 3 cutouts, and what you do is you get it started and you just whack it out by going back and forth between all 3 of those cutouts. See, we've almost got it out. I'm doing this on 4-ply cardboard, so it makes it relatively easy to just whack it right out. And we just do that. Folks can see this, right? I'm always asking that. Yeah, you folks can see it. Now we just flip it over and we do it to the other side. Start it. And yes, you do have to change out the races when you're changing out bearings. So, keep that in mind. Alrighty, this is where the fun part comes in. You gotta make sure that all the grease is gone from inside. Okay? That's the big part. Then, now, if you own a seal and race driver kit, use that. But the thing is that I don't think that a race driver kit will get the race for the back bearing down far enough. So you're probably going to end up using my method anyway. Okay, take the dry race. Well, some people, they like to lube it a little with just some WD-40. Fine, you can do that. Watch your eyes when you get it seated. You take the taper part goes out. Now, you find yourself a big old socket. Where'd my big old sockets go? You folks should be, helping me out here. Why do I gotta do all this work? If I remember, this side was 35 mil, 3/4 inch socket. That's what we'll be using. And you want to get it really centered, and you start tapping it. And it should go down. Okay? Make sure that it's, when you get it started, that it's started even. If not, that's where you take the brass rod and you whack it out and try again. And if it does start to go cockeyed a little bit, whack it on the side that's up. Okay. Come around to the back. It's not completely seated, so we're going to whack it just a little bit more. Get it down in there, and we're going to take our socket out, and we need to go a little bit further, but we got a taper in the way, so we're probably going to be taking the 30, nope, 32, finishing the job. And your fingernail should not go in between where it mates. Alright, folks? Now, that is driven home. We're going to flip it over. We're going to do the other side. Clean out this bore. This is what it looks like before you put the race in. This is what it's going to look like after. We still got to come by, we still got to put the bearing in, and we still got to put the seal on. You got to put that bearing in before you put the seal on. Alright. Come on. Alrighty. Nope. Okay. Now you see how this is cockeyed. It's not flat at all. Well, that's where you take the brass punch and you bring this back out and try over. If this happens to you, yeah, you pretty much have no choice. You have to pull this out. You have to get this bearing race seated in there. Square. Okay. Now, yes, with a seal driver tool, yes, it makes it a lot easier. But not everybody's going to go jump out and spend the money on a seal and race driver. Okay, I get it. You know. So, this is where, if you don't have a seal and race driver, you had better have access to large sockets, because that's the only way you're gonna get these races driven in. Okay. If it's a Tish, now, see, this is happening a lot. So, take your time with this stuff, folks. This is not a race. Well, okay, it's a race, but you know, for time, most of you are not on the clock, so give yourself time to do this. I need to get. But hey, if any of you want to send me a seal and race driver set, P.O. Box 88, Mapleton, North Dakota 58059. Be real nice if you wanted to send me one. You know. Now, realistically, to get them started, folks, you could use a block of wood. There we go. Now we got it started in the bore. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. 26. Leave. We're going to be using 1 1/4 out of the other kit. No. 124. No. The 1 1/8. Yeah, there we go. And see, folks, you actually do have to have a lot of tools for workaround, just for these weird workaround purposes, okay? Now, they're both in. They're both seated to where, you know, they're not gonna interfere. So, we're gonna clean them up because, you know, we've got all that oil on them now. We really don't want oil in there, we want grease. So, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna wipe it out. And I'm gonna show you starting how to pack bearings. Okay. Like I said at the start of the video, this is the job that I do recommend the gloves on highly, unless you are, you know, prone to looking like a grease monkey. So, yeah. Get all the debris out. You know, there's actually a lot of debris that you put in. You know, that's clean. That was a clean towel, folks. So, set that there. Now, how you pack bearings? Put a set of gloves on first. It's a relatively simple process, but you're gonna get greasy because unless you got a grease packer, you're gonna have grease in your hands. Literally, a dollop of grease in your hands. We'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Had to take that phone call from the funding office, you know. Alrighty. Now, we were gonna start packing bearings here. Like I said before, you're gonna want to wear gloves for this job because literally you're gonna have a great wad of grease in the palm of your hand. And keep these bearings as clean as possible. Cleaner the better. Longer the life. So, I'm gonna get these gloves on. We're gonna have some fun with a grease gun. Alright. Okay. Alright. That's about all we should need. That portion's got garbage entrapped into it. Alright. Whoa, whoa, ow, ow. Okay. Let's try this again. Come here. Alright. And just kind of work it in. You'll know when you get it all packed in, because grease will actually start coming out the race, where right in there, the internal race. So plus she's gonna be stiff, you know, and we probably need a little bit more grease in our hand. So like I said, this is the filthy part of this job, folks, is just packing grease into these bearings. Okay. Flip it over and we set it in there. Now, realistically, we take our seal here, lube it up in our hand with crap from the fucking thing, crap from the thing. You can just start it with hand pressure. A little bit of wallopy. And we're in. We'll come back and we'll really reseat that. But now we're going to do the front bearing. Get all that grease in there. Okay, we're gonna need more grease. Now, we're fully packed, so really get it in there. Now, there's no seal on the front end, on the front, so yeah, that's just the way I do it to get that out of my way. Clean off the tip of the grease gun, and alrighty, we're gonna come back. We're gonna see, is this fully seated? No. So keep this clean. We're gonna put that there. We're gonna flip it around. Gonna take the biggest socket we have in the kit and really whack it in. And there we go. It's fully seated. Now we're gonna pack this. That's why we also still gotta take out the front bearing anyway. That's why I didn't bother really seating that in. It was just to keep the bearing in place. Now, clean tip, and we just kind of pack grease into this. So, there we go. We got that all nice and coated. I hope I was able to show you a lot of the neat little frickin' tricks that you use to actually put this together. Now, we'll take our bearing, pop it in there. Actually, we'll just take and slide this in. Taper work its way in. Then we're gonna pop that in. And now you have to have that washer. And it is keyed to go on one certain way. So this one's a little short, but it'll do. It'll do, donkey. So, now we got a set preload. And since we ain't got no brake drag, this is going to be a pure test of actually doing just the bearing preload. I usually start with about a quarter turn. Quarter to a half turn. Work that in a little. Oh yeah, that feels nice. It doesn't stop right away, but it also doesn't keep moving. Because realistically, what should be stopping this, you know, from making a full revolution is actually the grease in here. The tackiness of the grease between the bearing and the race on both ends. Oh yeah, that is beautiful right there. Now I've kind of decided, folks, that I'm just going to reuse the C-clip. Okay, we're going to have to tweak it just a bit. Yeah, we're still good there. Now we're just going to reuse this cotter pin. If it will let us. we go. Now, have the eyelet up, facing there. And there we go. We're all done. We put the wheel on. We can take this for a nice jaunt down the road. So, thanks for watching. You know what? I'll do a little bit of a supplementary video after this of driving it down the road, and yeah, this is good. This is beautiful. You know. Oh, for the cap, okay? Fill this thing with grease. Forgot to say that. You know, I personally fill it with grease. You know, it kind of harkens back to the old 1800s with the grease cups. Yeah, I get it. This is, you know, 1980s, but realistically, the technology that this is using realistically started way the heck back in the early 1900s. I believe tapered roller bearings were, I want to say that the Model T by 1920 had tapered roller bearings. So now we got that. Push it on. Sometimes you gotta whack it on. You know, that's fine. But yeah. Now we can put our wheel on, and you know, we're all greased up. We've got enough. We should have enough grease to you know, last us I believe these are every 8,000 miles. They'd love you to change the grease in these. So you can change it sooner, but yeah, beautiful. So thanks for watching, and sorry about all the interruptions, but we got it done. See you in the next one.